Hi everybody, it's Suzanne Downing with Must Street, Alaska, and I'm here on the Kenai Peninsula. I thought I would stop by and visit Mayor Charlie Pierce, who's the Kenai Borough Mayor. I happen to know that he's building signs this morning, and I can see that he's actually doing what he said he was going to do, and that's always good when you have a politician. So I thought we'd just stop in and see him. How's the reception out there? I've got a couple people watching so far, and I don't have super good connectivity, but send me a note and let me know if the sound is good and if I've got a little bit, I've just got a couple bars right now. So anyway, this is Charlie Pierce's house, and I'm Suzanne Downing with Must Street, Alaska. Thought I'd go and just interview Charlie, see how he's doing. Thanks, John, for the feedback. I appreciate it. Thanks, John Francis, for the feedback. Thanks, I appreciate that. I'm gonna flip the camera around. You know, guys don't need to look at me, but here's the great setting of his house. It's Kenai in the summertime. Isn't this beautiful? And he lives on an airstrip. So a lot of people here live on the river and so forth, but Charlie lives on an airstrip, and I see, oh, that looks like John Quick, who's his former chief of staff. John's working with me over at Must Street, Alaska a lot these days, doing some help. But hi, John. Are you videotaping me? Are you doing Facebook Live? So we got double Facebook Live. And hi, Charlie.
Hey, good afternoon.
You're on Facebook live stream, and you've got 41 people around Alaska.
Welcome.
Yeah, and this is Charlie's garage where he's building signs, everybody. And look at this floor of his garage. I just got to show you something. You could eat off of that floor. It's crazy. Okay, this is so amazing. I just got to show you. Hi, Gail in Juneau. I guess
you know, you see that number 3, that Bud car, Indy car?
Yeah.
You know who that was?
Oh, this one here.
1983.
Yeah.
Indy 500.
Got it.
Bobby Rahal.
Oh my gosh.
That's right.
Classic.
Turn 4. I went to the race with a friend of mine that lived across the street from me. I lived in Anchorage.
Yeah.
We went to the race, and he had this special camera, and he took that picture. We both got a copy of that picture. So.
Okay, so that's like a kind of a one-of-a-kind thing, or two-of-a-kind thing.
It is. It's kind of special. And then, you know, I collect signs. So.
Yes, I see that you do. You've got some great Alaskan beer signs here. These are great. You've got some, looks like some antique signs.
Yeah. How about the one right there? How about the neon sign?
What's that all about?
Well, that's the Aces. That is a collection too. You know, 2011 Kelly Cup, the Aces.
Oh yeah.
Right? Look.
Oh yeah, there you go. That's, you don't see neon signs too much anymore. Chris says he loves to look at these signs. These are great. Well, Chris, you're gonna be
Okay, so this here.
Okay.
This here is where's this picture taken at? You've driven by it. I know you've driven by it. And I'll give you.
Is this a quiz?
It's in Homer.
Oh, okay.
And so, well.
I love Homer.
Where would it be?
Yule Kilcher's house? I don't know.
No.
I have no idea.
There's a giveaway here in this. And you see the little lights on it? It's decorated. It's always decorated. And at Christmas and at, look at this. It's got the little spider web here.
Got it.
It's kind of like Halloween. So it's on East End Road in Homer.
Okay.
And I give the credit for that picture. I love that picture, but I give the credit for it to Lori Johnson. Lori Johnson is, I've always called her the greatest waitress in the world. She works at Louis. And her name's Lori Johnson, and she does a lot of pictures.
Oh, well, she's talented. Boy, she, if they close down the restaurants in Homer, she can always fall back on her artwork, right?
She could, yeah, she could.
So everybody, this is Suzanne Downing. I'm here in Sterling, actually, with the mayor of the borough, Charlie Pierce, and I just so happened to come where he was building signs, and it looks like they're all really square and they're in good shape, nice lumber. Strong, and I see you have a really interesting poster back here with Donald Trump.
Yeah. That's not mine. My grandson has said he's going to inherit that.
Okay, so you're just a caretaker for it.
Mr. Junior is going to get that one someday.
So tell me how things are going here on the Kenai Peninsula. So you are the mayor of a huge borough. It goes all the way over to Seward, and it goes to Hope, and
Soldovia.
Soldovia.
Tyonek on the west side.
Oh, Tyonek on the west side, really? Do you ever get over there?
Right. You know, I've been to Tyonek twice since I've lived in Alaska for 45 years.
Yeah.
And that was back when I was with the gas utility.
How many people live there? I've flown over it.
Well, I'll tell you, I heard that they send about 300 ballots over there, and they usually only get about 17 or 18 of them back. So
Huh.
that was some of the discussion about the vote by mail.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
What was the balance of those guys?
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I just came down here to sort of get away from Anchorage because it's really tough up there right now. Everything's shut down. The mayor won't let you go out to eat, and so down here in the Kenai, things feel like normal. Everything feels normal here. What's going on with that?
Well, you know, we've taken a position. Not we. I would say some of us on the peninsula have embraced the idea of being respectful of each other, social distancing, washing, and then wearing a mask when we need to, or being respectful of each other. And you know, we believe that everyone is essential. Our businesses are essential. We started 3 months ago. It was a group that came to me and said, "Look, you know, they're going to kill us if they close our businesses." And you know, you can just imagine what it's like trying to apply for grants, money, you know, to stabilize yourself. And frankly, I think most folks that get grants would tell you that it's just not enough to bridge or carry them over. And you know, those that started businesses many years ago, they probably you know, took every dollar they had, scraped up every dollar they had, started a little business, and kind of built it along the way, and had these dreams of having a sustainable thing going forward, you know. And in one day, in a matter of weeks, we pretty much put the crush on a lot of folks. And you know, I feel for those individuals, and personally, I wanted to try to do something, save the economy, and at the same time respect the fact that we were dealing with a virus that nobody really knew anything about. We're still learning about it, and yet I've taken the position that we're all essential, and you know, we have to, in order to sustain ourselves, we have to work. We have to go to work, and to go to work, maybe what we do is we all agree that we're going to change some of the rules. We're going to change some of the practices that we are accustomed to, and I've also taken the position that I believe when you ask individuals to be responsible, explain to them what they can do to apply a little bit of responsibility, they'll respond. And what's going on down here on the peninsula, people have responded.
This is great. Cynthia Stewart Mondani says hello, by the way.
Hello.
She says, "Hi, Mayor."
Hello.
And you got a couple dozen people watching you right now from around Alaska.
Well, that's good. Thank you.
And so you're running for mayor. Your election is in October.
Right.
Rudy Briscar says, "Excellent position. Wishing you well in this election. Hello from Wrangell."
Thank you. It's you know, I'll tell you, it's not something I ever thought I would ever want to do, and you know, I did it. I had some folks that came to me 3 years ago and they said, "Well, run for mayor, run for mayor." I was retired, you know, I had retired from the gas utility business, and you know, I thought about it. It took me a while to make that decision to say yes, and even when they came back to me after they hadn't heard from me a month or two, and I said, "Well, you know, I'm not real sure I'm the guy that needs to be doing this," but I did it.
It's hard to step up and do it. It's a big sacrifice of your time and the time that you could, you know, there's an opportunity cost. Christine Cole says, "Yes, everyone is essential. Each person is responsible for themselves and their health."
That's right.
So that's what one of our viewers is saying.
So when you look at what's going on around the state, Susanna, I think that, you know, I'd like to speak specifically to Mayor Berkowitz.
Okay.
And, you know, I mentioned yesterday on a radio show that there's the real far left and the far right, and we need to meet somewhere in the middle. We really do. We need a compromise from the mayor's office there. And if I were sitting next to him and advising him today, I would say that the numbers that he's seeing in Anchorage, the spike that we saw where we were getting hundreds per day, have now come down to the 50 per day, 60 per day. Those numbers have been reduced. He's saying 4 more weeks. He wants another 4 weeks. He's going to try to flatten that curve a little bit more. I can appreciate that. But I would say that instead of shifting from Here's the problem a lot of folks have is you can go down the street and walk into a grocery store, and it could have 85 people in it, all wearing masks, of course, and you can go to Mr. Berkowitz's restaurant, and you can go stand in a tent and sit outside in a tent apparently, and have your lunch and have your dinner too, and so there's been provisions that he's tried to provide so people could stay open, and I appreciate that. But what happened to, let's go back to March and let's think about where we were at then. We had modeling given to us from the medical experts that said we were going to have some really, really strong numbers, and that we could anticipate them lasting for a long time, and that we were anticipating that our hospitals would be overwhelmed. Our hospitals haven't been overwhelmed yet. On the peninsula, Central Peninsula Hospital here, we've had less than 10 patients for COVID.
For the whole duration?
Since March.
Wow.
10 patients. And, you know, we've asked that question. We've had more quarantines related to healthcare providers doing their work during the day, employees being quarantined, than we've had actual patients.
Oh, I see. In other words, healthcare people who might have been exposed, yeah, went into quarantine.
And had a person come in that was ill, that tested them. They didn't know whether they were positive or not. They were testing. They had to wait for a test. But if you were exposed, or you were thinking that you were exposed, then they take the extra step of saying we're going to be extra careful and safe, and we're going to quarantine you. But here's the deal. Businesses are not going to stay open because of healthcare dollars or the CARES Act money. Mm-mm. They're not. It's 1 month's worth of salaries or rent, and you know, the federal government closed all these businesses down, and now they're trying to shore them back up. I don't think the federal government can sustain itself long enough to continue to send checks to everybody. How long will those checks last, and what will the inflationary effects be from all the fake money they're sending everybody? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. We're going to have to pay for that money. All that money that's being sent out will have to be paid, and I can appreciate that they want to soften some of the impacts and the threats, but I believe that the planners, the healthcare providers, and the business leaders like Mr. Berkowitz and myself need to come and sit down at a table and work out some arrangements, make some arrangements so that people can continue to survive and still meet those marks, those numbers, keep that curve flat. And
yeah,
I heard today, read somewhere today or saw something on the news this morning where if we would all wear masks for the next 8 weeks extensively, that we could in the nation, nationally, we could flatten that curve or reduce it significantly. Maybe we test ourselves, we challenge ourselves, we all start wearing masks for the next 8 weeks and see if it's really true, see if it really makes a difference or not.
Maybe. I mean, we've had a mask mandate in Anchorage for about 8 weeks now, and we still are seeing the cases go up, although they're starting to drop off now.
What's unique to the period of time we're in right now, though?
Well, we have a lot of people moving around and fishing, and a lot of those cases are cannery workers, yeah.
Right, workers coming in.
Yeah.
There's a lot of egress into the state, out of the state, and so we have a number of folks that are bringing some of it to us from other parts, you know, where they're asymptomatic, they get on the plane and test the lower 48, they get their negative test there, they jump on a plane and come here, test here, and come up positive.
Sure.
And so there's exposure, but even flying, I think that it's never been cleaner or safer to fly. I mean, you get on the plane, you wear a mask from the start to the finish, and you know, you're encouraged to, again, wash, social distance. You know, the middle seat, I kind of like it. You got more room.
Oh yeah, I like it too.
Middle seat's not taken.
I got a lot of people really cheering you on here on this FaceTime. This is Suzanne Downing reporting from Sterling, Alaska, and we have Mayor Charlie Pierce. We're here in his garage where he's actually building campaign signs, because although we have a primary election coming up in just a couple of weeks here on the 18th, there is also a borough election on October 6th, correct?
That's correct.
And so Charlie's running for re-election, and Cynthia says, "You are the voice of common sense. Thank you. I'm an RN. Freedom is alive in Soldotna."
It is.
Oh, really, really?
So if you're looking for a place to move, taxes are lower on the peninsula.
Yeah.
And we have lots of land, lots of houses, and the real estate market, I understand, is pretty hot down here on the peninsula. So.
Yeah, it's a great place. Love it down here. And I'm gonna close up and thank everybody for joining us. I'll post this up on my Facebook page at Must Read Alaska. But for now, I'm going to sign off because my battery is running low. Oh. And so one way or the other, we're going to end this broadcast. Thank you so much, Charlie, for joining us. And we will talk some more after we finish up here. Bye-bye, everybody.